Hey Ken,
What?
2.0, 2.0, 2.0.
So what do you know other than the version number?
I don't know. Maybe somebody made a really cool video about all the new features. I helped.
Hi, and welcome to Crafts by Two. I'm Ken.
And I'm George.
We've shown you the new Cricut Explore Air and done an unboxing.
And we set it up and cut our first project super quick.
Now we're going to show you what's new in Cricut Design Space.
Oh, 2.0.
I am in a quick tour, so I could watch the YouTube video. I can also check the box at the bottom to not show this again, and click Done or the X to move on. You'll notice with the new design space, a lot of the layouts are using the full page a lot more and a lot better. For example, the Make It Now projects will wrap to fit your screen, and a lot of the panels or dialogues that you had before are now actually full page displays, and I'll point those out as we go along. For now, I'm going to start a new project. So going to the File menu and choosing New, you'll notice the menu now has text right away instead of just the icons with little pop-up text, which makes it a little easier and clearer. One thing you'll notice right away on the new design screen is the panels are not floating panels by default. They are docked in this little sidebar, which you can collapse with the arrow bar. You can still drag them out and use them as floating panels, and if you get them a little closer, you can grab the bottoms and resize. So you can still use these as floating panels if you like. They still have to stay within your web browser. You can't go off the page. You can drag the panels back and you'll get a little yellow indicator letting you know that if you let go it's going to dock. So now I docked that. But with the dock you also have two sections to dock into. So I can drag down here to the bottom and the yellow block shows down below to let me know that I can let go and it will dock so I can see two panels at the same time if I like. And you can mix these up so I could have two panels on one, two panels on the other. This layout isn't remembered. If you start a new project right now, you'll still have that layout, but if you quit Design Space, it doesn't remember that. It goes back to the default layout, and it's not saved with the project. When you reopen the project, it's going to have that default panel layout again. I'm going to insert a few images, and Insert Images is one of the first places where you see the new full page layout, and they've given you a lot of new features to make it easy to find images and preview images and make sure that you're selecting the right thing for your project. Right now I'm on all images, but you can also browse by categories and cartridges, and we'll go through those in just a minute. When you're on all images, you can change the preview thumbnail size over to the right to view large or view small, so you can view a lot or have a larger preview image to work with. You still click on the image to insert it, and down below they added a nice little X overlay so it's clear that when you click on it, it's going to remove that image from your selection. What's nice is you don't have that pop-up with the image preview for the larger image size, and you don't get that weird scrolling. I always found it a little awkward because sometimes that preview would stay on the screen and you'd be scrolling and it wouldn't really scroll the way you expected it to. This is much cleaner in my opinion. Along with clicking on the image to select it, you can also click on the footer bar for additional information. So I can see the name of the image, its unique code. I can buy the individual image, or I can see what cartridge this image is a part of, and I can click on that name and it will show me all the images on that cartridge. So now I'm browsing just the images on the frozen cartridge. And I can click on all images to go back, or click on the X to clear that filter. So I'm just going to switch back to all images, and there's the search. So for example, I can say I want a dog, and there's all my dog images, and I can see the images I've subscribed to, things that I could buy, and so on. Along with the search, there's these powerful new filters. So using the funnel icon over to the right, I can click that and I can filter on ownership, the type of image, and the number of layers in the image. So for example, under ownership, I could do my images, uploaded, free, subscription, or purchased. And if I do my images, I see things I've subscribed to, or I might see things that are free, and I can see also purchased if I was using my account that I've linked cartridges to. Or I can filter those individually using free, subscription, and purchased if I liked. You can also do type. So if I wanted a dog border in my images, I can just add that additional filter. So borders and my images, I didn't have anything with a dog and a border. If I clear this search, this will show me all borders in my images, but I'm not searching for anything specific in the 918 images. So to clear the search, I clicked the X when I had dogs up here. I can also clear an individual filter using the X here at the top. Or I could come back to the filter menu and change my choices there, or use reset all filters. Or if you have a filter or a search active, there's a reset all to go back to a clean slate of seeing all the thousands of images. Categories are a great new way to browse your image collection. Featured shows free this week, most popular, and recently added. So if you're looking for something new, you might want to look at recently added. Free this week is a great way, if you're not a subscriber, to get a lot out of the Cricut images still, because each week there'll be some free images you can choose to play with. Returning back to the main categories list, there's categories, and there's also brands. Brands is a great way if you're looking for a specific work from a designer or a brand. So maybe I want Anna Griffin or Teresa Collins, or I'm looking for a Disney or Sesame Street image. That can be a quick way to look just specifically in those collections. The other categories in the middle are great if you're looking for something, but maybe the search terms that you're thinking of aren't really bringing up the images you're looking for. So you might be looking for something for a baby shower, but you're thinking of, baby, cradle, and so on, but you're just not finding the image you want. The baby category might have things that you just didn't think of with your search terms. So it's a great way to find images to use in your projects. At the top, there's also cartridges. So you can browse the cartridges, and one of the great things is they're now alphabetical. So everything's in purely alphabetical order, making it really easy to just browse and find things, but you still also have the search right at the top. The preview is nice. It shows up to 10 thumbnail previews for the collection, and then it lets you know how many other images are available, so you could view all 12 or all 124. It's also letting me know free or subscribed, and there will also be a link to buy if you don't have the subscription. On the preview, you can see fonts are shown right at the beginning. It'll show the ABC as kind of a preview and the name of the font. So Three Birds on Parade only has one, but if you go in to view all images, you're only going to see the images there, not the fonts currently. And for example, if we scroll down to All Mixed Up, this cartridge has 5 fonts available to it. So here I could buy the entire cartridge and get those fonts. If I wanted to buy the fonts individually, I would have to use the Add Text menu, and there I could buy them individually. Because when I go into the actual image collection, I only see the images that are available on All Mixed Up. I can't preview the fonts here. I'm going to hop back and add a few images so I can show you some of the design changes. I'm going to filter and show my images. And we'll take the bunny and insert those. So it still looks very similar to what you're used to. There's just a few changes. When you've selected an image, you have 4 icons to manipulate that image now. The red X will let you remove the image. I'm going to undo that. The circular arrow on the top right lets you rotate. The lower right has the arrows to resize, and if you're seeing 2 arrows, that's letting you know that it's proportional and it's going to scale but not distort the image. And on the lower left is the scale lock. So if I unlock that, you'll notice the scale changes to 4 arrows, and I can resize this in any direction and potentially distort or resize the image how I want. You still have the same options in the edit panel, so I can still resize specifically here, rotate, and I can set the specific position. Another small change is the Arrange menu now has the text with the icon right away, instead of just seeing the icons and then having to get the pop-up text to explain it, if you didn't find those icons as intuitive in the previous version. Upload Images hasn't had any significant changes either. When you click the button, you'll notice this is also using the new full page layout. And under Basic Upload, if you upload an image, there's just a few differences as far as things being moved around or positioned. And this image already had a transparent background, that's why it came in that way. And you just have to choose whether it's a simple image or moderately complex or complex before moving on. And then you still have very similar tools: crop, the select and erase, the eraser, undo and redo, and your zoom arrows to work with your images. One change is that there is a preview button instead of that eye icon before, and preview shows you the outline that is actually going to be cut. A lot of people didn't really see the eye icon or realize what it was for, so this big preview button helps you understand that that's going to be the shape you're going to cut out. And continuing, you can put in your image name and tags. An image name is required and tags are recommended. With the new search feature, it really helps to be able to tag your images. So you might want to put in maybe the name of the artist you got this from if you're looking for work from them, or anything that's going to help you find the images in your collection. And the checkbox for print and cut is also relocated here. At the bottom is the checkbox to preserve the original image within the shape, which is recommended for print and cut projects. So this is going to keep the nice graphic along with that flower shape that it's showing with the red outline. If I don't check that, it's simply going to be the outline. It's going to be a simple shape with none of the image kept with it. Generally, it's best to keep both. And then, just like before, it's available for me to insert into my projects. Add text is a little different. You click add text and it shows you your text entry area. You'll notice over to the right it didn't switch to the edit panel, so if I switch to that right now, it's still not showing anything specific to the fonts yet. You have to start typing, and after a moment it'll update. So the edit panel now has nice, easy to use drop down menus. This font choice is so much better in this version. I used to have to click just in the right place with some web browsers I was using to switch between all fonts, system fonts, and Cricut fonts. Another thing that's easier to use and more obvious, when you choose your font, there was always a search field, but not a lot of people noticed it. Now it clearly says search fonts. So I can search on bird and find everything that has bird in the title. Like I said, that's not really a new feature, but the search font prompt is very nice because it wasn't always obvious in the previous version. And then your choice between regular, bold, italic, and writing style. But you can still do has a writing style to find just those fonts that have writing styles. Set canvas doesn't have any significant changes either. It uses that full page layout, and they did add a few more canvases for you to choose from. One option I forgot to mention before, because it's a little easier to see when you can actually zoom, the zoom is moved to the actual design canvas instead of being in the sidebar. So you can zoom in and it kind of fades away when you're not using it. One nice thing is if you click on the number, it jumps back to 100%. So I know previously I would zoom in and zoom out, looking at things, trying to line things up, and it was a little annoying if you zoomed in to have to click all the way back. Now you can jump back to 100% very quickly and easily. The Go screen, a few new things is you can quickly move between panels using the sidebar. Or you can use the arrows to step through. Each mat, you can choose its individual material size. You can also mirror each mat individually. This is nice because maybe if you messed up on one of the mats, you can choose to go with that mat individually instead of having to do the whole project and just doing next mat, next mat. You can jump right to the mat and go. One quick change when viewing your projects that you've saved is it now says public instead of shared. Lastly, the account menu has been changed just a little bit. So going to your account, it's now been broken up into machine settings and account settings. So your new choices here are new machine setup, which we covered in our unboxing and setup video, and manage custom materials, which was always kind of buried before. Otherwise your choices are very similar, with just a few name changes. You still have calibration, update firmware, linking cartridges, and signing out. And they've also been adjusted to the new full page layouts.
Wow, the new Design Space is really quick and easy, and it looks a lot like the new iPad app.
Right. That was one of their goals.
So if you know one, you know both. So if you're not already subscribed to us, you can do it. It's really easy. Click the icon above Ken's head. The Sword of Damocles.
We'd also appreciate it if you give our videos a thumbs up, if you liked it and you found it informative.
Don't forget to share us with your friends, too. So, until next Tuesday, Or maybe a little bit later than Tuesday. I want to play.
No, we need to get back on track.
Okay, until next Tuesday. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Stop staring at me.
I just told you.